What's going on, everybody? Greg here, and let's make our monsters grow to talk about 2017's Power Rangers. This brand new reboot of the 1990s classic Power Rangers was directed by Dean Israelite and has a great starring cast of Decree, or Dacre. So Decree Montgomery as Jason the Red Ranger, Naomi Scott as Kimberly the Pink Ranger, RJ Seiler as Billy the Blue Ranger, Luddy Lynn as Zach the Black Ranger, and Becky Gomez as Trini, or Trini in the show, but Trini in this movie as the Yellow Ranger. Elizabeth Banks as the villain, Rita Repulsa, Bryan Cranston as Zordon, and Bill Hader as Alpha 5. This was surprisingly good. I really enjoyed this movie. So now let's talk about the plot of Power Rangers. They meet Zordon and Alpha 5, who inform them that a woman named Rita Repulsa has awoken to find the Zeo Crystal, which has the ability to destroy planets. And the only way for them to stop her is to become the legendary Power Rangers. So now that we know what the plot of this movie is, let's talk about what I thought about this movie. And like I said, I was pleasantly surprised. I thought this movie was fantastic. I was just not sure if I wanted to see it, so I waited a while, read some reviews, heard some podcasts and reviews about it, and decided, okay, I want to give it a try. I went and I saw it, and God, I was pleasantly surprised by this movie. I loved the characters. I loved the cast that they chose to play the Power Rangers. My favorite, Jason. Jason was the leader of the Power Rangers. He was the Red Ranger. I wasn't sure about him in the beginning, but as the movie went on, I quickly grew to love him and really cared about him. My least favorite, the Black Ranger, Zach. I wasn't a fan of him, and let me tell you why. I didn't like his acting. I thought he came off very cheesy and forced. I didn't like the way he was trying to act like he was an outsider, and I just didn't really get this hard image that he tried to put on. I didn't like it that much at all, but throughout the movie I ended up growing to like him a lot, but at the end of the day he was still my least favorite Ranger out of the 5 that we were given. But the other 4, their acting actually was really good. In the beginning of the movie, you have a scene where Jason is going up against the bad guy, and he's in detention, and he slaps him, and the bad guy goes, "Oh, did you just slap me?" "Yeah, I did." Weird, right? And I thought that was a little forced. I'm like, okay, this guy's trying to be the cool guy. They're trying to write him in to be the cool guy. But that whole charade went out the window. He actually was just a cool character throughout the movie. As well as Kimberly. I really liked her too. I liked Trini. I didn't know that I was going to like her because of her weird outsider personality, but it worked. Billy. Let's talk about the Blue Ranger Billy. Oh my gosh, from the beginning of the movie, he's funny and his jokes aren't forced. It just seems natural. It seems like he's naturally just a geek, like he's a nerd who's kind of an outsider who gets brought into these 5 friends, and it's awesome. His chemistry with the group was awesome, and his jokes were good. They were good. They actually had me laughing, and they didn't come off cheesy, and that right there is a plus. Now let's talk about Elizabeth Banks as Rita Repulsa, the villain of this movie. I mean, Goldar was also a bad guy, but Rita is the bad person of this movie. But her take on Rita was scary. I enjoyed that. It was really scary. And me being a horror lover, I really don't like cheesy horror. But guess what? She seemed really like scary. Like, I love the scenes where she goes into a gold shop and she's trying to get gold. And she's like, "Gold. I want gold." She just was menacing. It was cool. I really liked the dark approach that they took to her. But I had a few issues with her. There was a few questionable scenes involving Krispy Kreme donuts that I thought were a little bit cheesy and not needed. But it kind of worked in a way. It wasn't enough to where it ruined the movie or ruined her character. It took me a little bit out of the scariness and menacingness of her. But you know what? Her performance actually outweighed that. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed her as the villain. And it was absolutely great seeing Bryan Cranston as Zordon. This is a spoiler, so I'm going to tell you, in the beginning of the movie, it shows him in some full body makeup, and I really enjoyed that about Bryan Cranston, is he's not above putting hours worth of makeup on. I like him just for a scene, but he puts a lot of makeup on, and it's cool. I enjoyed that. I really liked how he was the original Red Ranger. And then, go on, now he's stuck in his command center in his spaceship, and he actually was kind of a bad guy in the movie. In a way, he was being selfish and just wanted the Rangers to become Rangers so that he could somehow get out of the ship. But when something happens to one of the Rangers, he sacrifices himself in order for this Ranger to be okay. I was a little bit nervous when I heard they were casting the legendary Bryan Cranston as Zordon, but like I said, his performance was great. I can't wait to see him in the future films. I think he was a spot-on Zordon, which is what I liked. And now let's talk about his little mini sidekick, Alpha 5, voiced by Bill Hader.
Ay, 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 ay.
No, he doesn't do it like that, but he does go ay 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 or ay ay or something like that. But he was really cool. I really liked Alpha. I was afraid that they're gonna try and make him super funny because Bill Hader, the legendary comedian, is trying to force his Bill Haderness on us, but that didn't happen. We have Alpha 5. He's just a cool little cyborg robot who's been around for millions of years. I like the way he informs Zordons of the language that the Power Rangers speak. It's some sort of weird English that he says, English dialect. He was cool. He taught them a little bit how to fight. He was very informative. He wasn't too much in the film to where I got annoyed with him or anything. He was the perfect amount of Bill Hader as a voice actor, and he was a great amount of Alpha 5. I can't wait to see him as well in the future films. Let's talk about the Zords now individually. I did have a problem with them. As much as I did like them and I thought they were really cool, I have the same problem with these Zords as I did with the Transformers in the first Transformers movie. In the first Transformers movie, you can't really make out what these Autobots are doing when they're fighting Decepticons because the CGI isn't really distinct. You just kind of see them going at it and you see a big jumble mess of CGI going on, so it's a little hard to follow. And that is what carried on to this type of movie, because the Zords, as cool as they were, the only real two that I could tell really what they were was the Tyrannosaurus and the Pterodactyl, and that's just because they looked like a T-Rex and a pterodactyl. The other three, the saber-toothed tiger, the Triceratops, and the Mastodon, did not look anything like a Triceratops, a Mastodon, or a saber-toothed tiger. The only reason I could kind of distinctly tell what they were was just because I was the fan of the 1990s show Power Rangers. But if I didn't have any knowledge of that, I would not have ever figured out what they were, because they don't, when they morph, they don't call out what type of animal they represent like they did in the TV show. So that was a little problem I had with that. But when the 5 Zords come together in this pit and they rise as the Megazord, or the Mamazord as Billy likes to say, then I was very happy. I was very nervous though before I saw the film, because I had seen the action figures at your local store. I didn't like the way it looked. I saw it in the trailer, didn't get enough of it to know how I felt about it, but when I saw it in this film, I was very happy with it. It didn't look anything like the 1990s show at all. I'm not going to lie to you. And as much as we love that iconic Megazord, it didn't look anything like it. It had wings, for God's sakes. The old one didn't have wings. Not at all. But this one was cool. I really liked it. I liked the way that the Rangers don't all come together as one group inside of this robot to control it. They all have different stations in the Megazord that they control, aka Billy controls the legs, I think. Kimberly controls the arms. Jason controls the torso. I don't know. But they all have different duties in different parts of the Megazord that they control, and I really liked it. I liked the way they did that. It doesn't look like the old one, but it's a great reimagination of what they think it should look like. And guess what? It works for me. I can't wait to see if it changes at all in the next film, or if they keep it the same. But if they do, it's fine with me. I liked it. Now let's get into what I would rate the brand new 2017 movie reboot, The Power Rangers, or Power Rangers. 4 out of 5, baby. This film was just a 4 out of 5 for me, but that's a good thing, because 5 out of 5 is a perfect film in my opinion. This one was really high up there. It's not a 3.5, it's not really a 4.5, but it's a 4. The problem that I had with this, the gripe that I had, is we did not get enough Rangers at all. We got maybe 15 minutes at the end of them in their actual suits, fighting and doing things. But that's also what gives me a 4 out of 5 rating, is because we spent the majority of the movie getting to know the characters and them getting to know each other. The character development was on point. It was delightful to see them get together. And now that we're going to have, 5 more of these movies, I can't wait to see what they're going to do with the Ranger suits. I actually did like the Ranger suits. They were questionable in just the standstill pictures or in the trailers, but when they're actually kicking butt in the movie, I really, really enjoyed them. One more gripe that I have, though, which is not going to give me a 4.5 or 5 stars out of 5, is that I didn't really enjoy the whole Iron Man-esque helmet that they had, where their visor was up a lot of the time. When you're a Power Ranger, you need to wear your helmet. You need to have your visor down. If it's up, it's not even protecting your face. And I kind of wanted the visor down, guys, so maybe we'll get more of that, maybe we won't, I don't know, but my rating of Power Rangers, the brand new Power Rangers, 4 out of 5, and I am comfortable with that rating. Thank you everybody for watching my review of 2017's Power Rangers. I hope you agree with me, or if you don't agree with me, please comment below. Tell me why you don't or you do agree with me. Please go down and like this video, share this video if you could, I'd appreciate that. And also, if you haven't done so yet, please go down below, subscribe to my channel if you like the content that I am putting out. Also, hit that little bell in the corner so you can get notified when I have a new video for you. Thank you everybody again for watching, and remember to watch a movie, man!